Whoa, what a runner today with MBOT. This thing skyrocketed today. We bought on the first pullback around $11, $11.26, and then it just continued to run. So we sold right away because the selling pressure was a little aggressive. There was a lot of selling volume right out of the gate. So the first two candles, the first two 1 minute candles were red, big selling volume. We're going to talk about it right now. The trade, we have potentially maybe another trade that we might do, but I got to get going. I got another, an hour and a half before I need to roll out of here. So I don't know how I'm going to edit all this video and whatnot till then. So it's going to be a quick recap, but let's focus on MBOT and what we should have, maybe could have done to understand that this thing might have been a reversal. And I think the biggest thing could have been, honestly, just to wait a little bit longer. Wait till this was a green on the day kind of move. So let's go ahead and check it out now. Alrighty, so this is MBOT right now on the chart, and it's still running. I'm looking right now for a potential pullback. It's 429, and so the gap and go strategy is basically over at around 4 o'clock, right? It's only really for the first 30 minutes, and you can see exactly what I mean by that. Here's 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock my local time, but 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So that's right around here. And that was actually at the perfect high so far. Well, not the perfect high, but almost at the perfect high of the day. So this is our trade down here. And ever since we had our trade, this thing ran about 80%. So really, really crazy. Little quickie of an update here. We did get that support line bounce. It was a 3.7% profit, another $52. So we're ending today with an $88 profit. So really nice. Selling pressure came down here. We didn't get this first bounce. I thought we missed it. Then it pulled back again. Boom. We got a nice little entry on that one. And then, just sold right into the bounce right here at 16.15. And the high was 16.20 or something like that. So I was pretty happy with this little quick trade. I knew it wasn't going to be a big winner. I knew it was going to be like a 3 to 5% trade, just because these support line bounces, you want to be quick because they don't always bounce that well. So I was pretty happy with this one. All right, now back to the review. I know I'm talking fast today. There's a lot going on. So just take a deep breath, hit that like button, and let's get back to it. And I'm not going to talk about all the other trades today or all the other potential plays. If you guys want to hear me talk about the watch list and review each trade, check out the live stream that we did today. I go over each one of these tickers in this video. Just for saving time, I'm just going to focus on MBOT today because really this is the one with the biggest dollar volume. Yeah, you could say ITCI has bigger dollar volume, but this is also a $2 billion market cap company. We're focusing on MBOT, and this one has an $80 million market cap, so much smaller. And it also has only 4 million shares outstanding. With an even smaller float. I think the float was about 3.5 million shares outstanding. So it was a tiny float. So the fact that it has $224 million volume means these shares are all being traded over and over and over again. So it's really just absurd, honestly, how much each one of these shares is trading hands. That basically means each one of the shares outstanding changed hands about 60 times. Yeah, that's really aggressive. Think about all of Apple's outstanding shares were traded 60 times in just the first 30 minutes of the market open. It's crazy. Usually, Apple's just trading a very small amount of the actual shares outstanding. Typically, the dollar volume is always lower than the shares outstanding. So when you have the dollar volume much higher than the shares outstanding, something's really moving here and there's a lot of trading going on. There's a lot of activity in this space. And that's why most of my attention was on this one. So it was already up. Really, really nice pre-market. Let me just zoom out a little bit here and maybe zoom in a little bit again. So pre-market, we started here. We pulled up right around here. Now let me just zoom out a little bit first. So pre-market started right around here at $10. Then we ran up about 40%. Not the craziest run up, and then we pulled back pretty aggressively as well, back to maybe around $11. So pre-market wasn't that insane, but then ding, 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 the market opened, and right out of the gate, we had 2 red candles with a pretty decent amount of selling volume, especially when all the selling volume you saw before was right when the market opened and pre-market. So it kind of looked like this. It was just like, ooh, wow, that's a lot of selling kind of going on. And we entered right on this dip. And when the second candle was red as well, I was a little shaky. I was really hoping we would have maybe a break to the upside. And that's why I ended up getting out the second we pulled back to the upside right here. So I don't really regret that trade at all. It was kind of, quick, but I wanted to reduce some of my risk because that was a lot of selling pressure, and I didn't really want to be involved in that. What I should have waited for was maybe a break past 12 and then some sort of pullback. I mean, ultimately that is kind of what I did, but wait for a pullback into maybe the third, fourth, fifth minute if I wanted to be a little bit slower on trading that day. Yeah, so here we had a nice break to the upside. We opened here, pulled back a little bit. So maybe a secondary trade at 11.39, if I was that aggressive, would have been really, really good because, this first run was a 24% run. How wild is that for a first run? And then it just really continues to run the rest of the day. I didn't do any secondary trading with this one. I just didn't really feel super comfortable on any of the other trades. I always felt the whole time it was a bit overextended. And the real reason I felt it was kind of overextended is because, check out their long-term chart. This thing basically just is getting entirely crushed. At one point, apparently it was valued at $3,000 or $324,000 a share, which, obviously is never the case because there's just constant dilution. There's reverse splits going on. This thing is just basically being diluted into oblivion. And every time it approaches this 180-day moving average, it completely gets destroyed. So all of these spikes to the upside have always gotten crushed. And, right now we're a bit above that. We're actually well above that. And I would be a little bit nervous if there's going to be a giant pullback. So right now I still have a limit order right here at around $16. Kind of waiting for a little flash crash. I know we have a big breakout from this area. We had 2 pullbacks before we continued to rally. And on the long-term chart as well, this was kind of a key area. So if you just kind of come back here, you can, this is gonna be a little hard for me to point out, but let me just go see if I can somehow put this nicely on the screen. So this $15.17 area was a big support. We broke from that area. And then we pulled back here, bounced off this area. We tried to break out here, but had a bit of a fake out from this area. And this is all around $15. So now, we broke $15 finally with big volume. So that is going to be an area where there's going to be a lot of new potential support. So this could be a really good bounce trade, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to snag this one today. It will be good fun to watch. And again, guys, anything from like 4 to 5 my local time, but with Eastern Standard Time, that's about 10 to 11. I'm looking for these pullbacks. The gap and go strategy is, basically done with, completed. Now we're looking for those bigger pullbacks, those kind of flash crashes, any sort of breakouts, and then pullbacks to those former breakout areas. That's really what I'm looking for. And that's actually one of my best strategies so far. So yeah, let's see what happens. Check out the video description links below. There is a forum called Trade to Win, and I post all of my trade reviews there as well. So you guys can always be updated to see, what happens with any of my trading. But I already have a feeling most likely I won't have another trade, which is entirely fine. I'll take my small profits for today, super happy about it, and move on. And then we'll be back to trading first thing on Thursday. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. It's good fun trading with you guys on the live stream. Have a phenomenal Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, depending on which region you guys are in. Stay safe, and like always, make some awesome trades. Till next time, ciao, ciao.